Now, here are 5 of the most mass appealing fragrances ever. You're not going to overcomplicate anything with any of these olfactive offerings. Of course, there are some fragrances on the market that are very dark and brooding and assertive and gothic and strange and envelope pushing and avant-garde, and this is not any of that. All of these are very safe. As a matter of fact, I would go as far as to say that if you're looking to get a fragrance for somebody as a gift, if you want a recommendation on just something that's very easy to recommend, very safe, very mass appealing, these 5 are the ones to check out, and this list is specifically curated for the gentleman. Unless you're a lady who's into some of the more traditionally masculine leaning fragrances, then by all means, please check this video out. Before I dive into the list, I do want to mention that if you're a fan of perfume-related content, and of course if you love smelling your best, hit subscribe, hit the bell, and also please give this video a thumbs up. It would really go a long way. It would greatly assist in this channel and specifically this video's discovery on the platform here. So again, these are all very safe, easy to wear fragrances. For most of these, you can pretty much just walk into a Macy's and try them. There is a brand on here because we have, 4 designers, 1 niche. Even the 1 niche offering, you can just walk into like a Nordstrom or something like that, or a Neiman Marcus. Pretty sure the brand is carried there. Of course, for a lot of hard to find niche fragrances, if you want to just sample them, you can utilize a service like scentsplit.com. This is not a sponsored video, but I do love shouting them out because I personally use them. I've been using them since 2014, 2015. I have purchased many things from that website, full bottles as well. And of course, you can sample a fragrance by purchasing a decant, 5 ml, 10 ml, whatever you want. And then this way you can see how it works on your skin and how it resonates with your personal tastes. So the number 5 spot, I'm just gonna go with something very simple like Versace Eros. This one is a very easy to wear fragrance composed by perfumer Aurélien Guichard. This one has vanilla, tonka bean, mint. It's very playful. It's very mass appealing. You can't go wrong with this one. There have been several times when I ended up wearing this one and I was complimented by others. So incredibly mass appealing. You're not going to push any boundaries with this one. As a matter of fact, if you go with something like Eros Najim, that one is a bit darker, a bit more ambery. That one is perhaps not as safe as this one. And then even with Eros Energy, I almost included that in this list, but there's a lot of people who say it smells like lemon soda to them. I don't know. I personally love it. It has that Creed Aventusy vibe, but a very lemony opening. I got complimented with that one as well. So it's all a matter of, the people that you're around, your personal taste, and, different strokes for different folks, right? We're not all going to like the same things. But the original Versace Eros is such a mass appealing fragrance, and I just, can't stop recommending it. You can't go wrong with Versace Eros. Some might say that it's a bit of an overdone tonka bean vibe, and well, depends on how much your taste has quote unquote evolved. I personally feel like you can't go wrong with a very safe ingredient, vanilla, tonka bean. Like, who doesn't like these ingredients? For the 1 niche offering, I'm going to go with Percival by Parfum de Marly. Now, this is lavender, ice flower, a bunch of citrus, very safe, mass appealing, gets compared to the likes of Legend by Montblanc and also Fierce by Abercrombie & Fitch. This one, on the other hand, is, I can't even say niche leaning, because what does that mean, right? That's such a nebulous phrase, and it's so subjective, so open to interpretation. At the end of the day, I really like this one because of the compliment factor. Again, I've gotten complimented on this one, as I've also been complimented on offerings like Pegasus Exclusive. Leighton gets me a lot of compliments from this brand as well. There are some that are, kind of hard to recommend if we're just thinking about compliments, right? Kalan, Haltane. But again, I think if you have the personality to match it, then you can pull it off. And of course, if you have an amicable and agreeable personality, inevitably people are going to approach you and they're going to have a nice thing or two to say to you. Percival is great. Lavender, gentlemanly, very classy, but it's also modern, right? I think there's a lot of fragrances from this brand, like, is it Ispazan or Lipizan, or even, there was another one. Another one from that initial collection with the 4 bottles. It's not Darley. But anyway, There was another one that is very like oak moss heavy. That one is not so modern per se. This one is unquestionably modern. Of course, we also have the iconic Bleu de Chanel Parfum. I have them all. Eau de Toilette, Eau de Parfum. I had 2 or 3 bottles of the Parfum. I think I have... I have 3 bottles of the L'Exclusif. I ended up getting the small one initially, and then I didn't like how it looked, so I went and bought the big size. I don't even know why I spend so much money on these stuff. Anyway, beautiful fragrance, grapefruit, amber, incense. It's so easy to wear. You can't go wrong with this one. And I just remembered, I think I have another bottle of this in the bedroom. So yeah, I have 3 bottles of the Parfum at this point. Amazing fragrance, right? I know the original Eau de Toilette came out in 2010, composed by Jacques Polge. And then now the in-house perfumer is his son, Olivier Polge. And I've had the pleasure of meeting him in person and doing an interview with him, totally not sponsored. Chanel should have paid me, but I just accepted the opportunity because it was a dream to meet him in person. And I said, yes. And I just, you know, it was nice spending the afternoon with him, and he was very receptive to my conversation, and he was very eager to answer my questions. And then we started talking about some of the more technical aspects of perfumery, and he was totally entertaining my nonsense. Love the guy. Super, super cool. Anyway, the whole Chanel team is awesome. This is great. In the number 2 spot, I don't know. I've done a video before, and the one that I have in the number 1 spot now, I think I've also put in the number 1 spot in the past, but I'm going to stick to my guns. Number 2 is Myself by Yves Saint Laurent. This fragrance is orange blossom, citrus. It's a bit on the floral side of things, but it's also quite masculine, modern, professional, clean, elegant, just very well put together. Of course, you do have the more recent flanker in the silver bottle. What is it? The Elixir or the Absolute or something. And then, you know, that one is a bit denser and it's a bit richer. I really like that one as well. I've been using the Dumont alternative in its place. What is it? Dumont Nitro Elixir, also housed in a very similar silver bottle. So I'm like, you know what? I don't even need to wear the original, and the Dumont actually lasts pretty well. So the original Myself is awesome. Also a very big compliment getter. I personally really enjoyed the Le Parfum version as well. That one has the amber and the vanilla and the dry down. When you do a side-by-side, you actually do pick up on the minute differences. Smelling it in the air, it's like, it smells the same. But yeah, that one's awesome. And then in the number 1 spot, the most incredible, most amazing, most enchanting, most beguiling men's scent. It is so amazing. I'm kidding. It's actually quite basic. It's basic, but it's mass appealing. That's the whole point, right? It's a very uncomplicated DNA. You don't have to think too much about this. You just kind of grab it, you spray it on, you know you smell good, you know you're going to get positive attention. I've actually shared a room with people before where I had this in my, I had like this Lacoste travel bag, and I had brought this with me, and I took it out and I put it on the counter. I forget the setting, but I put it on the counter, and then one of the people who was in the room with me was like, "Is that what you're wearing now?" And I said, "Yeah." Like, you mind if I take a picture of it? So anyway, it's just such a mass appealing fragrance. You can't go wrong with this one. Go with the Essence flanker, that's fine. Go with the Intense version, that's fine. Once you delve into the Eau de Parfum and the Parfum, that's where it starts to get a little bit iffy. The original is super mass appealing. And then of course, I'm talking about none other than Gucci Guilty. Here I have Love Edition. Of course, this is the men's version, Gucci Guilty Love Edition pour homme. The Love Edition smells exactly the same as the original. I mean, there's no reason to buy this over the original or vice versa. Get whatever you can get a better discount on, save your money. But this one is awesome. If you're looking for something, and again, it's so funny, right? I think it's Orange Blossom. So these two are aesthetically similar. This one actually came out first. And was it Jared Leto that was part of the ad campaign? Could be totally wrong. Why am I thinking? Yeah, I think it was Jared Leto. This is such a very clean, elegant fragrance, very modern, incredibly mass appealing. And despite these containing some similar ingredients, when I smell them, immediately I can tell which one is which. It has its own signature DNA, as it were. But anyway, look, these are just 5 incredibly mass appealing fragrances. I just wanted to make some very easy, safe recommendations for you out there. And of course, if you want to get even safer with this one, you can opt for the Eau de Toilette, which is a little bit more diffusive. So if you don't mind your fragrance being a bit louder, you can go with the Eau de Toilette. But I personally really prefer the longevity of the Parfum version. And then, of course, I don't know if my favorite is the L'Exclusif. I kind of feel like it is, but I think it's a tie between the Parfum and the L'Exclusif. But anyway, walk into a Macy's like I did, try it for yourself, and I hope you like them. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you took something of value from today's episode. And again, if you did, please do consider supporting the channel by clicking subscribe, hitting the bell, and giving this video a thumbs up for the algorithm. It would really, really mean a lot to me. So thanks again for watching. Love you guys. We'll see you tomorrow with a new episode.